Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. And our question tonight comes to us from some random pagan who asks my opinion of video games that feature pagan deities as characters, and whether we as pagans should be offended by this, or whether we should simply view these as harmless games. And firstly, let me say that I myself have very little familiarity with contemporary video games, or any video games for that matter, as I somewhat predate them. However, I do have some knowledge of them from younger people of my acquaintance, including Danielle Young here at the museum, who has something of a passion for video games. And interestingly enough, Danielle's passion for video games revolves around the pagan themes that she finds in them, especially video games of Japanese origin. And so I draw upon this in answering this question. And I'd like to also extend the question to speak not only to pagan deities as characters in video games, but also in wider media. In movies such as the upcoming Thor movie, television shows such as the Hercules and Xena shows from some years ago, or even the Hercules cartoon when I was a child. And you also find them in animated features more recently than this. And my opinion of this is that we really should regard it as being pretty harmless. And I think that we should look to other pagan cultures, notably the pagans of Japan, the pagans of India, and see how they treat this sort of theme in their culture. And in Japanese video games, deities out of Shinto religion frequently feature in the video games in ways that are not necessarily anything that has to do with their actual theological significance. However, does build upon that significance in certain ways. And in India, you see Hindu deities featuring in comic books very much like Western superheroes, battling against the forces of darkness. And I think that this shows a healthy integration of religious symbolism into everyday life. And I think that it would be very foolish to take ourselves so seriously and so rigidly to be upset by seeing pagan themes in any media, unless, of course, for some reason it's gratuitously insulting. Certainly when we see pagan deities portrayed in various media, they rarely have much to do with the deeper theological significance of those deities. And it's fairly rare to see a really deep religious point made, well, in any media that is meant for popular consumption, because that's not what it's for. But I think that not only is it a good thing to have pagan deities shown in these media as a part of living reference, but I also think that it reinforces our existence by showing us in the media, even in an oblique way. And I think that there are probably quite a few pagans of my generation who look back on things like sword and sorcery movies of the 50s and 60s, what's sometimes called sword and sandal epics, where you might see, for example, Zeus and Hera playing chess with the future of humanity, which is not part particularly of traditional Greek myth, but certainly fit in the movie, and introduce the idea of the Olympian gods in a very friendly way. I think that this is a good thing to have these themes portrayed, as long as we don't make the mistake of confusing the use of religious symbolism in popular entertainment with actual theology. And I think that happens all too often. And I think that has for a long time, because some of our main sources for knowledge of ancient religion in classical Greece and Rome is actually popular entertainment, which may not have been all that close to some of the deeper theological points. But there again, in novels that were meant for popular entertainment, you see the Greco-Roman gods portrayed, if not exactly as characters, certainly as part of the narrative, in ways that did not necessarily have to do with how anyone thought of them theologically, but rather with the fact that they were a point of popular reference. So, That's my opinion on the subject, that it's completely acceptable as long as it's not in any way insulting. And if it's insulting, it's the fact that it's insulting that we should be upset about, not the fact that the deity was portrayed. So there you go, and until next time, may you blessed be. And check out my new subscription site, thedailyspell.com. For 12 years now, we've been sending out the Daily Spell easy and free of charge to literally thousands of people, and will continue to do so. TheDailySpell.com is a subscription site meant to augment that daily service with deeper stories, deeper news, videos, entertainment, information, many daily features such as Marianne's Mystic Gem of the Day, the daily tarot card, the daily bio, and many more things. So check it out. Subscriptions are $19.99, and until next time, may you blessed be.